Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday and welcome to Pop Culture Power. Yes, I know. It's been a minute. It's been a few Mondays since we have done Pop Culture Power, but it's okay because we are here today. Now, what I'm trying to do is see if we can get this to go live on Instagram as well. I have been trying this for a while. I may be a little technologically slow, but we are trying to get this all so that we're able to go live with with all three platforms. But it does not look like it is working, so we'll focus on that next time. But for right now, welcome again to Pop Culture Power. We have a great show. I have a great show for you guys tonight. A lot of articles that I have been working on and have been publishing, but have not had a chance to come here and talk to you guys about them, to offer a little bit of context, have a little bit of fun, a little bit of entertaining gossip, and then also see what exactly is going on. Now, the first order of business that I want to talk about tonight is the fact that later this week, today is Monday, on Friday of this week, is Black Entrepreneurs Day. Now, if you guys watch this channel, you know I talk about being a business owner and how there have been trials and tribulations in this journey. One of the things that is different, I think, about my journey and a lot of other African American business owners is that a lot of us did not have startup capital. So, um, our journey to entrepreneurship is very, very different. But you see this article here, and we actually have an amazing cover coming out. Damon John celebrates the 5th annual Black Entrepreneurs Day at the Fox Theater. We have 2 Chainz performing. We have the very beautiful Kelly Rowland, the always exciting to listen to Charlemagne the God. The 2 guys from Rashad and Sean, I think it is, from Earn Your Leisure, Olympian Jordan Childs, and the one and only Flavor Flav. You know, you always need a little entertainment and a little education. So Flavor Flav surely is going to provide the the entertainment on that. But I'm excited about this because I think that there's a lot of people that are concerned about where our country, I think most of us are concerned about where our country is going, and realize that entrepreneurship is really the key to generational wealth. The way that we're able to run businesses and own businesses and network with other Black owned businesses really is going to dictate what our community looks like, in the upcoming years, not just next year, the following year, but when we look at what the Black community is able to do, and all the hurdles that we've been able to jump and challenges that we've been able to overcome. To me, business ownership is the primary, should be the primary goal to financial literacy and to, to kind of promoting generational wealth and getting us in a position. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to be an entrepreneur, because I definitely don't believe that's true. But I do think that everyone should have another way to earn an additional stream of income, if not several additional streams of income. I've heard people say you need 7 streams of income, and I think that is aspirational. But realistically, I think for most people, if they have their main source of income and then they have another source of income that they're able to offset and to add and to save money, it definitely, having a business of some type is helpful. And so if you are in the Atlanta area, I want to implore you to join this conversation. Unlike some other conferences or events, this invitation, you have to just be registered and have someone to reach out to, and we're going to make sure that people can come if they want to, without there being this huge price. So if you're interested in attending, all you need to do is reach out to myself, or you can go to the website and inquire there, but you can reach out to me. I'm happy to add you to our list, because I really feel like as many of us, even if you're someone that doesn't have a business, but is interested in maybe what would that look like down the road. Maybe you just want to sell I don't know, socks or shirts or license plates. You want to, I don't care what it is, anything that you sell that you're able to make money from. If you're able to do that, you are a business owner. It may not be some grandiose company, but I can tell you that even managing, when you're able to do something, specifically if it's something that you feel is a passion or a purpose, is very rewarding. And I just want as many people as possible to get the information. So that is how I wanted to start today's show, reminding you all to, if you are in the Atlanta area, please plan to be here on Friday. The Fox Theater is one of my favorite places in the city. It just has this feeling of grandeur that you get when you go to the Fox Theater. You know, the marquee is out there. It's very, the walkway is just makes you feel like you're going to something that's very celebrated. And I always enjoy going to events there. It's going to be at the Fox Theater. There's going to be a red carpet and celebrities and all that stuff. But most importantly, information to help you, find out how to implement your business. If you want to get started and you're not sure where to start, there's great networking opportunities. It's just a great event. So without further ado, please reach out to me on Facebook, on Instagram, on email, Christal@enchantedpr.net. If you are interested in attending Black Entrepreneurs Day, I hope that you will. Entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs alike come out for an evening of just inspiration, motivation, community, and just education, information and education. So that's my spiel for tonight. And now we're going to go ahead and get into everything that's been going on. As I told you guys, there's so many shows that we have started to review on this channel. But I like to have Pop Culture Power because it allows me to speak a little bit about all these different shows and my thoughts on a lot of different things. And so I'm going to start today with, and you know what? I don't know if I even brought that one over. I want to start with Megan Thee Stallion's documentary. So Megan Thee Stallion has a documentary out it is on Amazon Prime. It is titled In Her Own Words. It is a really good documentary, and I'm going to tell you guys why I liked it. I actually did 2 articles on this this documentary, and the reason I did 2 is because I wanted to talk about 2 different things. I feel like the documentary served a couple of different purposes, and so with that being said, let me see if I can pull up, because I really want you guys to see this visual for Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not sure why that one did not pull up in the photos I have here. Let's see. But yeah, this documentary it was very different than a lot of documentaries that we see. I think that that's something that people realize. Documentaries do very well. People like watching them, I think, because you like to see what people are doing behind the scenes, get their take, especially if it's something that was scandalous and that person didn't have a chance to really go into it. The documentary can kind of give their perspective that you might not have been able to hear while things were happening, which is the case with Megan. Hold on, guys. I'm just trying to get this. I thought we had this already working, but it's not. We will get this. Trust me, things will get better with Pop Culture Power. It is me by myself, and I'm not used to being on here by myself, or so used to doing the show with Mo, or of course, Let's Get Crystal Clear, where I'm always interviewing a guest. And so now I'm by myself, and I'm like, oh my goodness, 4625. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Let's see if we can get it. If not, we just may have to talk about it without the photo. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay. So this documentary is special for a few reasons. Number one, I'm sure you guys all know Megan Thee Stallion was in this big scandal with her and R&B singer Tory Lanez a few years ago. And as a result of that altercation, it turned out that Megan was involved with Tory intimately. Her friend was involved with him intimately. Tempers, ran high when they were all drunk at Kylie Jenner's party, a party that Kylie Jenner was having in Calabasas. A fight ensued in a car. Megan gets out the car. Tory actually shoots at the ground or shoots at her. We don't know for sure, but what we do know is that there were bullet fragments in Megan's feet. And so there was a huge court case. Megan and Tory were kind of going back and forth with each other on social media, along with Megan's best friend. Now, like I said earlier, the best friend and Megan both were involved with Tory. So, of course, that's a recipe for disaster, right? And a lot of people were being very judgmental towards Megan. But this documentary, I had a chance to talk with the director for the documentary, and she really opened my eyes up to a lot about Megan. I think if you watch the documentary, you'll have the same understanding as well, because you see that this young woman, she's in her early 20s when she starts to really, her career starts to take off, and her mother is like her manager. Now, in order to really understand that, you have to watch the documentary and see how close Megan and her mother were. There are actual pictures and some video of them together, but the thing that the director chose to do the most to kind of show flashbacks and to show Megan's relationship with her mother is she used anime. It was interesting to know that Megan is a big anime fan. And so you see all these scenes of her kind of being introspective. But you do see, like I said, there are pictures and a lot of video of her and her mom, but she was the only child, so they were very, very close, right? And the mother was actually a rap artist prior when she was, younger, and she'd given up on that dream, but she did input a lot of that into her daughter. And so it's not surprising that Megan is so lyrical when you watch this documentary, because you see that she was like writing things very early on, being coached by her mom, who was, like I said, an artist herself. So you see this young girl on this trajectory. All her dreams are starting to come true, all the things that she and her mom talked about. And they kind of had this more like BFF relationship, it seemed, even than mother and daughter, because very few mothers and daughters, the daughters like, wearing like booty shorts, twerking with the mom. But that's how their relationship was, so that Megan, the mother, really understood what Megan needed to have in order to be the star that she is. So in this, as you guys probably know, Megan's mother passes away right as her star really starts to take off. And so, of course, that leaves her feeling very alone. It leaves her feeling, like, what I do all this for? The person I did it for is gone. And so she clings to a young woman that she meets, and they become good friends. And she says, "Oh, she's my friend. Well, I can, she can be my assistant, and I'll take her, with me. And that way I can have someone that feels like family," because she was obviously missing her mother a lot. And this girl, they were friends, but it gave Megan a sense of comfort. And so understanding that that's how this relationship with Kelsey and Megan started kind of gives you a little bit of context to how things could become so toxic so quickly. So the girls are together, and she's her assistant, her administrative assistant. And Megan acknowledges in the documentary that she's kind of lost without her mom, and she's drinking all the time. She's hanging out with people that she probably should not be hanging out with. And she's taking Kelsey along with her for the ride. Tory is one of the people that she met, that she was hanging out with. And obviously, we're not sure about the details, because if you guys remember, initially when Megan sat down with Gayle King, Megan was not honest about what was the true nature of the relationship with herself and Tory. And she acknowledged this in the documentary. She says, "Yes, I lied to Gayle King, but I didn't know she was going to ask me about that." Basically, she was shocked that she was asked about being intimate with Tory Lanez. And I guess, it's funny, because I understand her point of like, it shouldn't be important what happened between us, but it does add context to the relationship. When people are, in court, and if something happens and someone is brought up on charges of being violent or doing it, you need the context of what the relationship was in order to understand what happened. So, hey, Scorpio Mo. So seeing that, they were in a relationship and she lied about it, but I'm sure she probably didn't want people to know that that was going on, because we know that Megan and Tory had never been public. It's obviously was something that was being done behind closed doors. But anyway, she admits to drinking a lot and not really being, responsible with who she was hanging out with. And so the incident happened, and then Tori and Kelsey were on one side, Megan was on the other. Thank you so much for that, XO Tina Bree, Crystal Clear, Princess BC. Thank you guys for hanging out on a Monday, even though I know we have not been doing this a lot, but we're back. We're back today. So anyway, to go on with Megan, Kelsey ends up, obviously all three of them are upset. I do believe Tori was really sorry for what he did. I think with them all being drunk, it's hard to hold anybody, to what they would have done if they were sober. But Tori did this. The courts ended up giving him 10 years in prison, to which Megan is very excited about. She says that there's a scene where she says she wished that they would give him, put him under the jail. She wanted him in jail. She was very angry. I have a feeling that she may think differently once times has passed, but I think because that time in Megan's life, she's very emotional. She's very, she's having all this success, but I think she feels like there's not really a purpose to it because her mom is gone. And then ultimately the friendship with Kelsey, which is what she said she cared about a lot more than the relationship with Tori, that is destroyed as well. The documentary is good because you see that Megan really needed a therapist, probably more so than, she probably needed therapy more than a hit record at the time that her mom passed, just because she was really like a little girl lost and depressed and alone, feeling alone. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. We don't think of people feeling like that when they have that much success. And so it kind of made it very difficult for her to enjoy some of the highs, like they show her being on Saturday Night Live, performing all around the world. It really reminded me of how big of a star she is. I've always thought that she was very lyrical, which I appreciate, but she's really, really talented. And I think because she is a hard worker and because she did have that foundation with her mom, I think her career is going to be very long-standing, probably a lot different than some other female hip hop artists that we see, because she had really some great development early on, artist development early on from her mom, and that just makes her why different. So you hear her, saying that she's not okay, working even when she's depressed. You see her drinking quite a lot. I mean, it's a really candid, raw piece. And then also the director uses, like I said, anime and these flashbacks. So you really feel like you get to know Megan a lot better once you watch the documentary. I liked it. I think there's room for growth because she's still very young, but I think it does explain, how you have this young woman who is a lot of times, having these huge, huge Grammy, nominations and awards and performing some of the things that have happened to her in her career. I mean, I just saw she did a commercial for Pepsi with Gladiator. Like, I don't think you get bigger than that when it comes to your career. But at the same time, she was not able to really grieve her mother's death. And so it just kind of creates this back and forth with her that ends up being detrimental in some places. The director said there would be times when nobody would ask, was she okay? Just, it would be work, work, work. You see Lorianne from Making the Band. We all met her at that time. She's Megan's director, art director on stage, and does all her performances, just very much like, you got to get this done. This is what you dreamed about. But I mean, very few people saying like, but are you okay? Do you need to sit down? Do you need to rest? You need to sleep? Are you sleeping? Are you eating? Breathe. Those things are missing. But it also is normal when you have someone that is such a huge commodity. Their talent is a huge commodity, and people love her. People want to see her. And, people don't care if she's tired or she's sleepy or cranky or needs her mom or needs some support. Um, Mental health is a real thing. And I think that's one of the biggest things I took away from that documentary is that probably when artists go on tour, they probably need their therapist with them. You probably need some type of mental health professional, just to make sure that they're okay, But really, really, it gave her an opportunity to speak to that in a way that hopefully will help some of her fans have some understanding of what was going on with her at the time, because the behavior was a little off, Um, but the documentary is a good glimpse into what happens when someone is dealing with fame and it comes really, really fast and they're unprepared for it. um Definitely hope to see growth and maturity from her, but I applaud just that much talent and that much grit. you know she has the she's like a person that won't give up, and we've seen that and it's paid off. And so, wishing Megan the best, and I hope you guys enjoy those pieces on Collider. There's one on with the interview from the director, and then that one on her friend Kelsey, which I feel like money brings out either the best in people or the worst, but it definitely magnifies whatever is there. And Kelsey put out a diss track towards Megan, which lets you know that she kind of wanted to be a rapper. I referenced in the piece that, Oprah has this saying that you cannot be friends with someone that's jealous of you or that wants your life. And I think that's what happened with Kelsey and Megan. I think Kelsey probably appreciated being on the road with Megan, but I think there was some jealousy there because she obviously had the same aspirations. And so, Miss Oprah was right. Miss Oprah was right. And as Megan said, her dad would tell her everything, that grin ain't your friend. And haven't we all learned that lesson in life? Everything that grins or everyone that grins at you is not your friend. So moving on, you guys check that out. Another documentary that I really enjoyed, I didn't do a piece on it, but I probably should have, is the Martha Stewart documentary. First of all, Miss Martha, if you did not like Miss Martha Stewart before, you will either love or hate her after watching the documentary on Netflix. Martha is cheating on her husband. She is bossing people around. When her husband cheated back on her after she cheated the first time, she is disgusted by him and then goes into almost starts to stalk him when he is moved on with a new woman. Martha talks about the prison, just the conditions in prison being horrible. She doesn't really take accountability for anything in this documentary, but that also makes you love her more because you realize she's just Martha Stewart. And really, people always say, like, when you see people's personality on television, that's not usually them. I disagree. I think it usually is. Martha was so Martha that it made me love her, because I was like, that's who I've always thought she was. This very prim and proper, almost like ice princess. She doesn't want to be in a relationship now. She just wants to enjoy things. She said that she did not want to have small talk with a person because she didn't really care about what was going on in their life at the time. She really likes people that are doing things and being successful. And I mean, she is the atypical person that you always thought she was, trying to be perfect at everything. And then if she falls short, she doesn't take much accountability. But it's hilarious. It's definitely not a role model, but I do think you can take the meat and throw back the bones with Miss Martha. But it's definitely worth watching if you are a fan. If you're not a fan, you probably would not get anything from that documentary. But if you're a fan of, like, what she was able to amass, in her career. And because of me being, like, having that charm and etiquette background, I appreciate, the fact that she was so amazing in that space. But then see how difficult it was for her in relationships, how she wanted to just be, I mean, she was just extremely ambitious to the point where that was really what was important, you know. She has said that she doesn't like the documentary because they left in some parts that she wanted it done differently. And I'm sure her being a control freak, it was difficult to give up control of the documentary, but it's definitely worth checking out. If you have a chance to see it, definitely check out Martha on Netflix, in addition to Megan Thee Stallion in her words on Amazon Prime. Moving right along to my collider pieces. You guys know I write every week on pop culture, specifically reality TV. And so here are the articles that I have been working on over the last couple of weeks. First, we have Mia Thornton's outrageous lies eclipse Phaedra Parks. Mia Thornton's outrageous lies eclipse Phaedra Parks. So what that means is basically, I feel like the shows that the Real Housewife franchises that I enjoy are Real Housewives of Potomac and Real Housewives of Atlanta. I watch Salt Lake City and sometimes Beverly Hills. I'm a big Lisa Vanderpump fan, and Lisa Rinna to an extent. And sometimes New Jersey. I can't really get to New York a little bit, but really Potomac and Atlanta are my favorites. And there have been, to me, on Real Housewives of Atlanta, two people that were just constantly get caught in lies. But I think Drew got caught in a few lies. But Phaedra, before she left, got caught in some of the most ridiculous lies ever, right? And one of those was, as I referenced in the article, was when she acted like she did not know when her son was due. Because she had gotten married at a certain point, I don't think she wanted people to know that she'd gotten married while she was pregnant. And so she said that she was like 6 or 7 months pregnant, but she was due. And the rest of the ladies were like, no, that's not right. Like, if you're this amount of weeks, 6 months, it's not, you're not, that's too early. And she was like, well, the doctor said that I could be ready. And it's like, girl, do you know people have babies every day? It was just the dumbest lie. It was the dumbest lie. And she even tried to double down on it when she went to the doctor and that they were filming, and she tried to mention that to the doctor, and the doctor was like, no, it was full term. The baby was full term baby. So it was just amazing to me that somebody would tell that stupid of a lie, right? Especially someone that's very smart, right? Like Phaedra. Then later, and then that lie was kind of like a white lie to me because it wasn't really hurting anybody. It was just kind of like, girl, we know you lying, okay? But later, she told a lie that was extremely just facetious and mean-spirited and had the potential to be very hurtful. She told Portia that she had heard that Candy was going to put something in her drink to put her under the influence so that she would have a threesome, right? Which is a felony and horrible to even, like, a horrible lie. It's just ridiculous and disgusting, right? So after that, she was released from the Housewives, and we all know that. And then she went on to do, fabulous things, right? Right now, she's just wrapped up Dancing with the Stars. I mean, Phaedra, always lands on her feet, but she did tell some pretty tall tales, while she was on Real Housewives. I think that Mia, or as Carlos King refers to her, Mia B. Lion, may have eclipsed Phaedra with the lies. Mia has told and continues to tell huge, just ridiculous lies. Now, I do want to say Phaedra is a lawyer. So I feel like lawyers kind of lie by trade. Like, if their client, they have to do what's best for their client, right? So, a lawyer, and I'll take this, a publicist, right? My job as a publicist, I know that if a client does something and the the public finds out and we don't want them to know, we will craft and curate a story that fits the impression that we want them to have, right? So I'll join Phaedra. You know, lawyers and publicists kind of have to lie as a part of what they do. Mia doesn't have any of those stipulations on her. In fact, we don't know. We know that Mia started as a exotic dancer, aka a stripper, aka an adult entertainer, right? And that none of those, I guess, at the stripper, you probably do need to lie to stroke the egos, you know. But so maybe that's why she's such a liar. But Mia lies all the time. Mia be lying. Carlos be right with his nicknames. Mia be lying. And I think it's just, it has superseded Phaedra at this point. Mia lied about her employment, the status of the family business when she came on the show. When she came on the show, she claimed that she was this huge CEO of all these joint chiropractic clinics. And I want to ask you guys in the chat, did anyone believe that Mia was the CEO that she claimed to be when she came on the show? Now, they did a cute little grand opening for one or two of the joint chiropractic clinics, but I was thinking to myself, as soon as these cameras are off, the real boss is going to come out. And I don't believe it's Mia. I just never believed it was Mia. Joda says Mia was an exotic waitress. I think she was an actual dancer. I think she said that before. She was an actual dancer. No shade at all. In fact, I am working on my first novel, Under the Cherry Moon, was written about a stripper. So there's nothing wrong with that profession, but you just have to own it, right? And she does own it. Jonas says, I didn't think she was a CEO, but I felt like she had some involvement with the company. I felt like her involvement was Gordon, her husband. I did not feel, Mia just doesn't strike me as the type that actually works at anything besides looking a certain way. I just don't see her putting in the burning the midnight oil. I don't see Mia doing that. She definitely was a stripper. She says it. I mean, it's not anything that she hides from. So she said that she was the CEO of this business and that Gordon was just a part of it and all this stuff. And as they got to the end of, I believe it was season 6, we learned that, Joda said, I said exotic waitress because that was the first lie. She said I was not a stripper. I served drinks and steak. She did say that. I remember she did say that. She was an exotic server waitress. Then it turned into, well, I was a stripper. And it's so strange. But anyway, so it came out that the family was removing both Mia and Gordon from the business. And there was some type of fraud involved. Mia lied through her teeth at the reunion. I mean, it was just ridiculous. She said at first that the board, they were still instated with the company because they were part of the board, and it was so many lies. Even Giselle and Karen were just, busted Mia in lies the entire reunion, if you guys remember that. And then this season, right? This season, Mia tells the viewers and the cast that she does not know if her son belongs to her old lover that just has come back, Ink, or if he really is Gordon's. Then she says she knows who the father. I mean, it's just no. It's a no. It's a no. It's a no, Mia. It's too much. And it is really like not good for her children. I interviewed Ashley, and Ashley was saying that she just felt like she didn't agree with some of the ways that Mia was handling her situation. It's despicable. Her kids are not tiny. They're like pre-teen age kids. And Princess said the son looks like both G and Ink. One thing we do know is that Mia does not prefer attractive men, old or young. She prefers men that look alike, and that is not attractive either way. Um, Gordon was on the show this past Sunday. He said he doesn't want to be on the show anymore because he feels like Mia and Ink were messing around while they were together, which they probably were, because Mia has the whole storyline between when Mia and Ink got together and when she got together with Gordon. She wants us to believe. I watched a interview that she did with Carlos King. She wants us to believe that she was getting money from Gordon, but not sleeping with him for like years and years and years. And then after her and Ink broke up, then she was single and then she got with Gordon, right? Mia, girl. Anyway, Mia is the biggest liar on the Housewife franchise of the shows that I watch. Now, Salt Lake City, New Jersey, and New York may have a bigger liar, but out of Atlanta and Potomac, Mia has it. Mia has it. Now, Phaedra is back. But I don't think Phaedra just lies for no reason. I think Phaedra has very specific reasons for lying. I think she lied the first time because she wants to be seen as a Southern belle. And we'll be talking about bells here just a minute. And I think she lied the second time because she really, really, really was jealous of Kandi and wanted to somehow, it's like everybody wants Kandi to look bad in front of the fans, which she doesn't ever. So, but Mia just lies to be lying. She just lies to be lying. Like, why are we lying about a child at this point? And she keeps lying, saying that Gordon was so horrible to her, and that's why she had to leave him and be with Ink. Girl, we don't believe any of that. We believe that you were cheating on Gordon the whole time. She's mentioned that Gordon had some ED trouble, and it's just, girl, we don't believe this. We don't believe it. I believe you wanted to get on Real Housewives of Potomac. I think Gordon was the best fit for that. I don't think if you were with Ink then, you would have gotten on. But you got the older man with the idea of money, and it looked great, and you got on the show, and now it's just a shit show. It's a shit show, guys. It's just, I don't like it, and I think that involving the kids shows that she will go to any extreme. You know, there was also this piece about her and her friend Jacqueline having like a threesome with Gordon, and then yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot to that. She claims she just showers with her friends, her, Jacqueline, and Gordon in a shower, but not having sex. Like, it's just foolishness. It's foolishness, Mia, and Mia be lying. Well, you know what, Princess, that's a good point. Princess said Gordon's mess has just come back and slapped him in the face since he cheated on his first wife to be with Mia. I don't feel bad for G, but they all look bad. You know what? And that's interesting because that probably was the case. We know that he was going to the strip club to see Mia, and he probably was married and cheating on his wife at that point. So, you know, karma comes, Gordon. It comes, and it usually comes in a much younger package. Just saying. Yeah, I don't feel bad for them, but I do feel like I feel bad for the kids, and I do feel like there should be some type of, like, at some point on a reality show, if it can be proven that you're just lying, then you should be like disqualified or something. You should be disqualified. Oh, hey, honey bunny. You guys, my gun boss peeped in. But yeah, so I just wanted to say Mia is the biggest liar on the Housewives franchise. And yeah, we're tuned in, but Mia, we don't believe anything you say. Not never. Not never. Never, ever, ever. Okay, next, as I said, we'd be talking about bells. We'd be talking about Southern belles. And this is the Belle Collective. The one reality series you should be watching is Belle Collective on OWN. Now, the reason that I think people should watch the show, again, and I guess tonight's episode is kind of like a ode to Carlos King, because I have referenced his nickname for Mia B. Lion. And I also had a chance to go to Jackson, and I should have brought some of those clips. Maybe I'll do that next week. So I went to Jackson for the premiere, for the private premiere with the cast of the new season of Belle Collective in Jackson, Mississippi. It was held at Latrice Rogers and Cliff Rogers' new lounge called Taste. And all the ladies were there, even the new, the returning Antoinette that was there the first season. And Carlos said that Belle Collective was the most underrated show on reality show on television. I don't know about on television, right? But it's definitely one of the best shows on OWN. And it's grown, right? The show has definitely grown a lot over the last 4 seasons. This is season 4 that's on now. Ironically, I did not know that the show was started around the brunches, right? There's these girl power brunches. And it's ironic because, like I said, there's conversation on social that there are so many times that women have these female empowerment brunches. And it's a good idea, but usually 9 times out of 10, the people are not genuinely wanting female empowerment. It's like an opportunity for mean girls to get together or for women to get together and brag about everything they have. And so I pretty much am just over the female empowerment brunches. But Letitia, who was there in the first episode with the brunch, it was actually her brunches that she was already doing, and she and a friend took the idea to Carlos King, wanting Carlos to see that in Jackson, Mississippi, they were having these female empowerment brunches, right, to kind of bring women to network together and all this stuff. And so Carlos got on a Zoom call with them and then decided to make the idea even bigger. So that's how we got Belle Collective. Letitia actually was the person that had the vision. She was the melody of Letitia was the melody of the Belle Collective. So that she was able to bring in Latrice and then Marie and the rest of the ladies. And isn't it weird that Letitia brought in Latrice and Marie. Those are the women that are closest to her. And those are also the women that are fighting the most. Interesting. It's almost like maybe they're fighting for the power dynamic because Letitia actually got the show started. Whoever is closest to her probably has, I don't know, but it's just weird that they both are fighting with her. But it's a good show because I think that it shows a lot of what women are going through. I think the OWN network has done a good job of having shows that Black women can relate to in all stages of their life, not just in the early 20s or the early 30s, but throughout your life, right? And so you see Letitia dealing with a trifling husband, okay? And we all have seen or been a part of that type of relationship before, right? We see Latrice dealing with a much older and slightly controlling husband. I'm sure there are people that are familiar with that, or a lot of women that want that and don't realize what comes with it, right? Then we see Marie, whose husband is missing in action, but she's put everything into her work, and she's this hardworking woman with this really, really tough shell that is really dealing with a lot. Her mother was suffered from drug abuse, and so there's just Marie has a lot going on in her life. And it's painful, but she also is a person that doesn't let people in. And so you don't often get a chance to see her vulnerable. But I think a lot of Black women can relate to that. I have no idea what Antoinette is getting ready to show us, but I will tell you all that at the Belle Collective premiere, how can I say this? Antoinette was just a little off, adorable, very cute, but just a little off, just sipping a little bit much and just a little off. So I'm interested to see what she brings this season. I know that she is good friends with Latrice, so that probably means that Latrice has an ally in her angst against Marie. We talked to Aikisha. If you guys haven't watched that interview, please go back and watch that interview archived on the site. Very good interview with Aikisha. And she's talking about what she's going through. She has 2 very small children and she's going through menopause. and she's married, and her husband lives. They live between Jackson and the East Coast, so it's a lot going on there. But it's a good show. It's a really good show. I think if you really want, like, if you like Love and Marriage Huntsville for the realness of it, then you definitely would like Belle Collective. I think they're equally traumatic and dysfunctional and toxic marriages in both shows. Um, and they're both obviously Southern. I don't know that. Well, the ladies on Bell Collective are, I mean, Jackson, I guess, is a little different than Huntsville. So it's a little slower, so you get a little bit of that, but it's just real stuff. Also, this season, Selena has joined, and I don't know if any of you guys watched. Selena was on Bring It, which aired on Lifetime, was the dance show. And her husband JJ, at the time they were married, that they were on the show, they're divorced, and JJ is married to Soguchi. Selena and JJ's girls became, realities, stars from that show. And so Selena has a huge fan base that loves her, and now she's on the show. So it's kind of strange because there's an ex-wife, and then a new wife, and then kids, and then there's disaster because blends are weird. And then, so that's all happening. And then you have Latrice with the older guy that is, they're cute. They're cute to me. I hope it works out for them. And Letitia and Glenn. And Glenn is him, is just, hey, he's Glenn. He has cheated several times. We thought that he had a baby, but it turned out that the baby was not his. But the point is, there's some good stuff here. There's good stuff. If you want to watch a show where there's like family drama and real stuff, and they're not being super pretentious, I mean, then, check out Belle Collective. Now, you're not going to get the fashions. Okay. There's no one there dressing like Marlo in, top to bottom designer labels. That's not happening. This is a different show. This show is about grit and realness, not about designer labels. Okay. Now, you may see occasionally something here or there, but it probably won't be authentic, and it probably won't be worn the right way. But again, it's a good show. It's a good show, and I like it. And I love the ladies. Shouts out to Letitia. Thanks so much for the invite to come down a few weeks ago. Now, speaking of OWN and how OWN has managed to kind of corner the market when it comes to Black women's reality, we have to, of course, go next to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Love and Marriage Huntsville's latest girl trip set a high standard other reality shows should follow. There in the center of that photo is one Miss Melody Rogers. And that actually is the focal point of that article, because I don't know how many of you guys watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. We actually review it every Friday. But Love and Marriage Huntsville showcased a girls' trip to the Virgin Islands. Now, every reality show, you guys know, every reality show always does the girls' trip. And every time there's a girls' trip, there's going to be some drama. That's just a part of what goes with the girls' trip. The Real Housewives go out on a trip. There's drama on the trip. The, housewives of this, whatever, even if it's, I don't care if it is The Bachelor, whenever there's a trip, there is drama. We're all going this place, there's going to be drama. So the ladies go to the Virgin Islands on Melody, right? Melody organizes the trip. And it's interesting because, as I put in the article, Melody suggested a girls' trip, which I don't blame her for doing, because every time the group has taken a trip before, it's couples, right? Because the title of the show is Love and Marriage Huntsville. So the couples get together and they go out of town. And because Melody is no longer in a couple, or at least not a public couple, it's uncomfortable for her. So they bring, and Martell always comes. The two of them are there, separate and fighting. And the other cast members it almost seems like they antagonize it, right? They make it worse. So I understand why Melody suggested a girls' trip. She doesn't have a man on the show. I'm sure Melody has a man. She just doesn't have one on the show, right? So she didn't want to go and have, Martell and Melody jokes made the entire trip. So I totally get it. So The rest of the ladies, Kimmy didn't really want to be away from Maurice, but they agreed to go. And the drama attempted to start, just like we knew. They get there. Kimmy and Tisha don't like their room. Um, Nell is upset because she doesn't have a place card next to her place at the table with her name on it. So they start the petty arguing, but unbeknownst to the rest of the ladies, Melody is really on her positive kick and she refuses to engage with negativity. Now, I believe this is what other reality shows need to take a note, right? So other shows where the ladies go on trips and they actually get into physical altercations or screaming at each other or throwing drinks, they need to watch this. Melody did a great job of just the setting the tone for a trip that was peaceful and pleasant and positive. Peaceful, pleasant, and positive was the characteristics of the trip to the Virgin Islands. The ladies tried it. I mean, everything was against that trip being positive. Destiny and Sunny. We're going to talk more about that on Friday. But you guys know Destiny and Sunny are never going to be cool because Sunny started dating a man that she met through Destiny. And she claims that her and Destiny weren't friends. But for all practical purposes, as we found out on this trip, that Destiny and actually came through receipts, Sunny's timeline is off. And I don't think I would ever have anything to say to her, period. If I was Destiny, I would have nothing to say to Sunny. I think at this point, Sunny needs to let it go. But the fact that the two of them were there talking and Melanie did not allow it to get off tangent and extremely toxic was huge, right? They talked it through. I don't think they came to like a resolution, but at least they were able to still enjoy the trip. Also, ironically, Tish is so many names that are alike. So there's Tisha, and then there's like Trish, right? So Trish, who is new, this season is the first time she's a full cast member. Her situation is foolishness and folly to Trish. But Trish is married, but separated, and then living with another guy, Ken, who she's in a relationship with. But it ends up coming out that she and Martell tried to hook up while she's still married. So she was obviously married at the time, and while he was still married but separated. Now, she is on this woman's trip and gets into a conversation. Letitia brings up the fact, well, Trish, you said you were with did you tell Melody about you and Martell? Awkward as heck. And even though you could tell Melody was irritated to no end, like they were making her whole behind itch. But she refused to give in. She stayed positive. She dismissed everyone to bed and she did not go there. Now, I don't know if anybody could have, I wouldn't have been that cool because Trish is lying because she said it was when Melody and Martell were not together. We know that that's not true because they just got divorced. And the timeline doesn't make any sense. She also said that she went over to Martell's house to work him out as far as like workout because she's a personal trainer. But she said that Martell, they ended up just watching a movie. No. Martell said when he's talking to the guys on another scene, he says that she did not look like he thought she would look when she showed up. And so they just watched a movie and then went on about their way because he wasn't interested. I never say these words, but I believe Martell. I'm going to go with Martell's story. Trisha's story doesn't make any sense. If you were going to go over to his house to work out, first of all, can we just say as grown people watching a show, we don't believe you when you tell us that you're going to go work out with someone that you don't know and you go to their house. That means you're not really a personal trainer. You're just interested in the person. And then Trish made a comment. She was like, oh, if something happened with me and Martell, I would definitely have told everybody. Ma'am, you're married. You're not supposed to be out here just sliding in folks' DMs and going by for a to hit it and for a booty call. You're not supposed to be booty calling. You're married, or at least not booty calling publicly. That doesn't make sense. But she said that if her and Martell had slept together, she would definitely have claimed it. I think she said that because she sees Martell as someone that's attractive. Now, another point I want to bring up on this trip, because I really want to give kudos to Melody for taking the high road. If anyone exemplifies what Michelle Obama was talking about when she said, when they go low, we go high, it is Melanie Cherie Rogers. You hear me? Because Nell, did you guys see when Nell was sitting next to them at the table, and Nell says, we all know Martell is fine. He's a little bit of eye candy. And she kept going on and on. Friend, oh, friend, what is happening? Also, considering the fact that Nell and Chris, there are rumors that their marriage has gone through infidelity as well. I would really not like my friend who has rumors of infidelity in their marriage to be talking about how fine my ex-husband was. And if you guys remember that trip, one of the last trips that they all went on was one that Nell organized, right? And Nell kept trying to, and I know she said she wanted Martell and Melody to work it out, but talking about how fine Martell is when he's been a cheater and had a whole like that was in poor taste. I didn't like it. I would not, if one of my friends was talking like that about my ex-husband, I would be furious. Like at the table with me, like if you want to have a conversation like that with, I'm not around, but you want me to high five about how fine he is and he hurt me like that, girl. Joda says, Christal, maybe she went to the house to train him because it was during COVID. LOL, the gyms were closed. No. If it was because of COVID, and they could have went to the park, because you don't go to someone's house to work. You don't know that person on the first meeting. You go to their house like that. That does not feel, which is why I tell people I don't believe in dating personal trainers, because usually personal trainers don't really require money. They just require whatever Trish was trying to go get. So no, they could have went to the park. They could have met at a park to work out. And then how you end up watching movies, ma'am. But yeah, I just felt like the way Nell went on and on about how fine Martell was in very poor taste. And Melody stayed positive. Kudos to Melody, because I'd have been like, I mean, you know what this man did. He had a whole baby on her and cheated repeatedly. Then at the table, Destiny, there's so many reasons that Melody could have went off. I probably should have done the article like that. These are the reasons, 5 reasons Melody should have shook the table in Huntsville, in the Virgin Islands when all this happened, but she remained poised and calm. Now, the reason that she couldn't remain poised and calm is because she had a friend / bodyguard that was saying everything that she couldn't say, but still, she still could have went left. Now, we do know, like I said, Shanita was there to have her back, and she was way off in everybody's business trying to show Melody her loyalty, but Melody still could have went off with that. Your friends talking about how fine your man is. Destiny accusing her of teaching Martell's mistress how to cheat respectfully. I like Destiny, but Destiny, she tried it. That was disrespectful as heck. And she should never say that. She apologized to her, but still, that was wild. I didn't like this woman didn't go through pain and suffering over this foolish ex-husband of hers, right? And then they're talking about how fine he was. Trish trying to sleep with him when you're just all bad on the front of Love and Marriage Huntsville. But kudos to Melody for showing people that it can be done. The tone of the trip follows the head. So if the head is messy, the body gonna be messy as well. But Melody kept it cute. Everybody else kept it cute, but I'm sure they were all glad when they got off that island and headed back home. I do think some of the ladies like being around the guys because it kind of takes the attention off of their issues, because the men kind of throw interference. But I don't know. Stormy is leaving the show. You guys let me know what you think about that. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know what you think of Stormy leaving the show. I kind of hate that Stormy is leaving because she does feel like somebody that actually has stuff going on that is actually like substantial. What did you guys think about Melody not speaking up for um, Stormy in the situation with the millimeter that was basically had Stormy arrested, going back and forth with threatening text messages and showed up at her establishment. That was another thing Stormy brought up to Melly, that she felt like Melly should have been more supportive, or should have told her followers not to be hateful to the other ladies on the show. I do know that there are a lot of fans that can take things too far. But interesting. I think Melody could have said something, but it's clear she didn't want to. Uh, it's clear she did not want to. That's the only time that she got a little beside herself on the trip, was when she was like, I don't have to say nothing. And she don't. That's her choice, but I hate to see Stormy go. I like Courtney. I like Stormy and Courtney. I think they are like a real couple that you can relate to, and I like them a lot. But hey, she got to do what she got to do, and we know Stormy gonna be fine because she's making so much money with all them products, the Canvas Beauty. She's doing her thing. But let me know what you guys think about Stormy leaving, her and Courtney taking their business and keeping it pushing. Let's go to the next article. The next article is Love and Married at First Sight. Married at First Sight. Chicago ignites what Denver could not. Okay, so this article was a rewrite, because I don't know how many of you guys watch Married at First Sight. If you watch this channel, you know I'm a huge fan. It's probably my favorite dating reality show. And the purpose of this article is to say, I believe that this season, the experts actually paid attention to what the singles or the bride and groom candidates wanted. And each couple, in each situation, they were able to say, you know what? This is what I asked for. I can understand why they hooked us up. And I understand meeting someone at the altar, a stranger at the altar, has got to be nerve-wracking. But when the experts don't even listen to what you wanted physically at all, like they just give you the opposite of that, then it sets it up for failure. And I think that's what has happened over the last seasons. If you guys remember, I talked about it a lot. Denver had no connections at all. Not even, there was not even like a thought if anyone from Denver was going to connect. Like there was not even a possibility of anyone connecting. 3 of the couples didn't even move in together. Like they just didn't like each other from the jump. So this season we see couples liking each other from the beginning. We saw Juan and what is the cute little oh my gosh, let me pull up this piece. It's super cute little Latina that Juan is with. It's just all the couples were physically attracted to each other. David and Michelle, David, the Puerto Rican with the long, pretty hair, and then he's with Michelle. He requested blonde and blue eyes, and that's what they gave him. And then they also Emim and Akichi, I think is how you pronounce it. He is not Nigerian, but was given a Nigerian name. She is Nigerian, and that is obviously a great place to start. She also said that she wanted someone that was a leader. He is a college counselor to students that are looking to go to college. Who else did I mention? So yes, David and Michelle. He was super excited about how she looked. She's a little concerned because he does live with his mom, which is concerning. It's concerning. Aikichi and Emem, I talked about not only, and she's Igbo Nigerian. His name is Igbo Nigerian, and he said his parents gave it to him because it means strength. Her name in Igbo Nigerian means peace. So that's a good foundation. Yes, Juan and Carla, that's what it was. She's so adorable. She's super tiny. Carla and Juan, he wanted someone that would understand and appreciate his Latin heritage, but also, be able to keep up with his lifestyle of being a very social person. She's extremely social, likes to go with the flow. He was very attracted to her. She's very attracted to him. Alan and Madison both have jobs that are similar as far as being in IT. So that was another positive. He actually said, wow, the experts did such a great job. Like he actually, like these couples are all saying it, which shows us that the experts did try at least to do a better job. Now, there is the dude living with his parents. It's all bad, gun boss. That is not the good part. But I mean, because she's attracted to him, she's a little bit more open. If you usually they've been connecting people that aren't even attracted to each other, and then what happens is if you're already looking at the person like, I don't like how you look, and then the person starts talking and you don't like what they're talking either, it's just no good, period. So I think the fact that we do have this huge issue with him living with his parents. First of all, why are you going on a reality show to get married if you live with your parents? You shouldn't be doing that. But he's not the only person that's done it. We just saw that happen at Love is Blind with Nikki D. But this show, this season, we see that they're actually, the experts have tried. David got what he asked for. He's not necessarily staying with his parents. It's by his choice. Yeah, I know it's by his choice, and I get you, Tina Marie, but I think any woman, if you think about marriage, when a woman is in a marriage mindset, she's looking at like she wants to have a place to call home. And if he has not considered that a priority, that's a little unsettling. I do think she's probably, I will say this is what they're not saying. This is what she cannot say, right? She's Caucasian. Or she's Caucasian and he is Puerto Rican. She's probably concerned because the lifestyle culturally is totally different. So in addition to them having this issue, there's also a huge cultural difference that she probably not is probably not prepared for. So I think that's probably making it worse, but that's also not something she could say without sounding racist. So I don't think she can say that, but I think anybody would look at the situation, even the way he is with his family, he just seems a lot more informal. She seems kind of thrown off. But still, I think they at least they tried to give people what they wanted. Yes, Alan and Madison, and then lastly Thomas and Camille. And I think they're both like biracial, like, and they both were attracted to each other. It's all good. I would never date a man who lives with his mother. Like, what are we doing here? I feel you. I think most women, not even just date, but marry. Like, I wouldn't want to date a man that lived with his mom, but I definitely would not marry. Like, that is crazy. So I like this season. We're just getting started into it, but I really like this season so far. I think that at least it's not just like toxicity from the start. There have been, I think the last two seasons, Nashville and Denver were both just like, in Nashville, nobody liked each other at all. Like the one couple that did stay together, they ended up breaking up the next day. Like it didn't carry overnight. So, and then Denver, nobody. I mean, they not only did they not work, they hated each other. Like they were like, it was horrible, which is crazy. It's crazy. I think we need to bring some colored people back because for Denver, you didn't have any black people. And I think that's why it was just all bad. It was all bad. So we had to bring back some color, bring back a little diversity to it this season. And now things I think are a little bit better. But I definitely love Married at First Sight. You guys keep watching and we'll keep talking about it every week right here on Pop Culture Power. Last but not least, got to talk about Miss Kenya Moore. Kenya Moore's apology to Britt Eady feels fake. So I don't know if you guys have been watching, but Kenya Moore went on Tamron Hall. Now, Kenya Moore has been doing press over the last few weeks because her daughter, she and her daughter have a new children's book series. The first book is called Paris Bound, Brooklyn, Paris Bound. So the daughter's name is Brooklyn, and she, of course, is a star of the series. And you see this pretty little girl that is going all over the country with her mom. Very cute, very cute, very cute idea. And the books are selling out. Kudos to Kenya. Kenya's a pretty good businesswoman. You can be pretty and be a worker. It's just not Mia. Kenya is. So Kenya's doing this with her daughter, and and of course, in order to get the spot on Tamron Hall, she brought her daughter. They were dressed alike. It was super cute. But what she really was there for was to spill the tea about what happened, why she's not on this upcoming season of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Well, according to Kenya first, so this earlier this summer, I remember this happened this summer because I got an invite to her salon, Kenya Moore Hair Care. Kenya Moore Hair Care. So there was an invite to her salon, her new salon here in Atlanta, and a lot of people went. And I remember hearing, because I was supposed to go down, just got tired and I couldn't go. And she supposedly, allegedly, she put up these pictures. I guess there was something going on with her and Britt. Britt is the new girl that was one of the new ladies that was brought onto the show. Not girl, my bad. One of the new ladies that was brought on, young ladies that was brought onto the show to be peach carriers. They're full-fledged housewives. They brought on 2 new people, and Britt is one of them. Very young, very pretty, very Atlanta, right? So at the opening for Kenya Moore Hair Care, supposedly Kenya Moore, who she was into some type of tech with Britt, blew up pictures of what Kenya has described. This is a hilarious how it's described, the terminology that Kenya used to explain the the pictures. She said the pictures were sexually charged. I don't know exactly what that means, but you can use your imagination. So she had blown up posters that were sexually charged that she had found online, she claims, of Britt. So all we knew is that Kenya was suspended from filming, right? So Kenya comes on and she says that she is sorry. She should not have taken things that far, things elevated, and she should not have elevated them, even though she says she's done that in the past, right? But she should not have done that. Then, as soon as she took responsibility and said that she was sorry, she then flipped and said, but the only reason that she did that was because she's now protecting not just herself, but her daughter. And she has a child. And my child is raised by a single mom. And if something were to happen to me, what would happen to Brooklyn? And so she feels like Britt was threatening her. And so she had to take it seriously by blowing up the sexually charged posters. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Which is why I feel like the apology was kind of fake, because if you give someone an apology, you leave it out there. You don't backtrack with, well, I'm apologizing, but because you did this, you caused me to do this. And then she start tearing up about the child, like, girl, Brooklyn, Britt wasn't trying to come for Brooklyn. Britt was probably coming for you because she probably saw you as a threat, right? Because Kenya is she's one of the OGs that you're going to have to earn your respect from her. And Britt was trying to do it. And then Kenya took a left and it was too far, right? She didn't really take accountability, Tina, because she also said that she did it because of Brooklyn. Tears, sorrows, tears. Girl, I don't know about that one, Kenya. But, she also said that she was still employed by Bravo. She still gets a check from Housewives, and that she and Andy are still very tight. So what that tells me is that she probably was encouraged to take public accountability for this. That was probably one of the stipulations that she has to do in order to come back. We know that she wants to come back because as great as a businesswoman as Kenya is, it actually is much better when you have this huge Bravo platform to be on. So I'm sure she wants to come back. But it's just interesting. I don't think the apology, and especially because the apology was so far after, right? Like at first she said that nothing was true. People shouldn't believe what they read. She kept denying it, and I mentioned that in the article too. She denied it. She said it was not true. She has never done it. Now she still maintains that she would never do anything like revenge porn. Um, that was not what she said. That's not what the charges were. She was not charged with that. That's not what her suspension was about or anything. And she used the term sexually charged. Um, but we're not sure. And she actually didn't even mention Britt's name on Tamron. Tamron actually cleared it up and acknowledged that Britt Edie was, um, the person that Kenya was speaking about, but Kenya did not utter her name. So, it's cute. And of course, she goes on there. She's in matching clothes with her daughter. So she just, it's Kenya. It's Kenya doing Kenya. Britt did put out a Instagram post with the caption that a lot of people believe was a sub tweet or a sub cap at Kenya. And she said, the thing about being authentic is you don't have to worry about maintaining a fake image. And then she said, everybody is the villain in someone's story. I'm sure Kenya will be back on TV. If not, she's probably going to do some of these little, cameo shows where she shows up girlfriend's trip or something like that. And then, her and her daughter make a bunch of money from this book. And then she'll be back on Housewives, for a while, because she's like, Kenya, she's good TV. You got to admit, she's good TV. Nothing else. She's good TV. And she's a smart girl. So I like Kenya very much. But yeah, girl, that apology was fake. It's all good though. We want you to come back. We definitely want you to come back. I don't really see these new girls being able to connect with the audience that quickly. Even if they do get another season, they definitely will need to bring somebody back that the audience connects with. Now we know Portia's back, so that should be interesting. But I want Portia and Kenya together because it's just I love that. I love that for Atlanta. I love Portia and Kenya together for Atlanta. So we're hoping that will happen. But I do think that there have to be stipulations. I think if you are, last season for Potomac, we saw Robin not being honest about what was happening with her life. And she was ultimately let go because of that. I think that we've seen Phaedra be let go for lying in ways that are dangerous. And I think someone that is caught consistently in lies should be released from their contract, because that's really defeating the whole purpose of reality TV, right? So if you're not willing to come on and really be honest, then what are we doing? What are we doing? You're playing in the audience's face and you're wasting our time. And we won't stand for it. But that is it for today. I think that we have covered everything on my list for Pop Culture Power. As I started out this show with, please make sure that if you are in the Atlanta area and you have any aspirations of being an entrepreneur, I don't care if you're young or old, if you have a child you want to bring out, that's who I would bring. My kids are grown, but if I had little kids, I would definitely bring my child, because I think we have to start talking about businesses and wealth and how it's normal to make mistakes, how it's normal to lose, how it's normal to have to start over. We need to teach kids that, so that when they do take a chance and they stumble, they don't stop. They know that failure is a part of the journey. And I think hearing from other people that they respect can be helpful. So I would encourage you, please don't think about it. If you're thinking about it, you're doing too much. Reach out to me. I would love to extend an invite to you to come and join us at the Fox Theater. You can get dressed up, or you don't have to. You could do you. Just be comfortable. Be excited. There's actually on-site photos for people that want to take headshots. So, and there's going to be so much valuable information. So if you're in Atlanta, do not miss it this Friday, November 22nd at the Fox Theater. Kelly Rowland, 2 Chainz, Terrence J, the guys from Earn Your Leisure, Damon John, and Jordan Childs, and so many more people. So make sure that you are in the building. Make sure that you are tuned in Wednesday for another episode of Dating Diaries with myself and Scorpio Mo. And of course, Friday, we'll be back talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, and a little bit of Married at First Sight. So, and a little bit of Belle Collective. So make sure you tune in. We talked about making sure we do the show in segments. So if you just want to tune in for one of those segments, you're more than welcome to do that. Or if you want to hang out with us, because, we're so much fun, feel free to do that and hang out the entire time. If you are in Atlanta, make sure you check out tomorrow morning on Fox 5, because I'll be joining the ladies there to talk about one of the topics I've talked about tonight. On my Fox 5 segment. So make sure you tuned in there. And last but not least, if you have not gotten a copy of my book, Dear Alpha Female, It's Not Him, It's You, make sure that you get your copy. You can go to Amazon. These are great gifts for a single girlfriend or a girlfriend that's in a relationship but struggling with, making time, letting down boundaries, letting down her wall, just career professional women looking to be in relationships is a great read for. And then also, shameless plugs for all the books here. How to Win When Ish Happens. We are all dealing with this election and what it means for our future. But trust me, God is always in control and always will be. So do not fear, trust Him, and know that He has got us, and we are all going to be good. I love you guys for watching. This has been Pop Culture Power with your host, Christal XO. I look forward to seeing you guys right here on Wednesday. If you are watching this on the replay, make sure that you like and subscribe before you head out of here. And make sure you check in with the channel to see all the different things that we have coming up. All right. See you here on Wednesday and again on Friday. We love you guys for watching.